comedy, like Dexter. Dexter, as in, he's a serial killer, he's a psychopath. He's always complaining about being motionless. So there's this recurring theme throughout the series where they talk about Dexter as a kid. When he's a kid, then his dad, who's his adopted father, is training him to appear to have emotions, so that he can blend into society without scaring people, right? So he trains him how to giggle, and how to laugh, and how to pretend as if he has emotions at all. Alright? However, Dexter, as a character, is always complaining about not having emotions. He keeps saying, I wish I could feel. So that right after I kill this serial killer, because Dexter's a serial killer who kills serial killers, that's his serial thing. And then he's like, I wish that I could, feel good about this, but I can't. I wish I could like my girlfriend, but I can't. And so it makes it kind of like a really annoying show to watch for two reasons. One, he's always complaining about emotions, and so what they ended up having to do was make this supposedly emotionless character relatable, which made it so that he actually did have emotions, and so he wasn't actually a psychopath at all.
Lies!
Precisely. So, what do you do if you're going to try and write some fiction about psychopaths? The answer is, I think, aptly portrayed in 7 Psychopaths, where the main character is Colin Farrell, an author who isn't a psychopath, who's watching all the psychopaths do stuff.
Right.
Right? So, the main character of 7 Psychopaths was not a psychopath, and that was one of the reasons it made the movie work, because 7 Psychopaths was a movie about a guy who was watching psychopaths, and so you could effectively tell a story about psychopaths without having to worry about relating to the psychopaths, because you could relate to the main character who, for his own reasons, was relating to the psychopaths. So you, as an audience member, didn't have to worry about relating to the psychopaths yourself, because you could relate to them through Colin Farrell. Yeah. Actually, Colin Farrell, I was noticing this, was probably an exceptionally emotional Irishman. It's just the way that they portrayed him. He had a little bit more emotion than you would generally think that sort of.
They almost showed that over excessive emotion, like through his drinking. I don't know.
Right. He's always trying to cope with his emotions. He's crying all the time. Really, really affected. Constantly.
Constantly affected. Damn him in the world that affects him.
I mean, affected.
Oh, affected. Okay.
Constantly going. We liked 7 Psychopaths. It was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. It had all kinds of themes.
I like how Colin Farrell was writing a story that was really about the movie. It's a movie.
Right. How they kept referring to the movie as it was happening.
Yeah. It was better than Inception in that sense, because Inception was trying to hoke you out into thinking it was more complicated than it was. It was, you can say it's a dream and a dream and a dream and a dream and a dream, but really you're just, it's just another ream on a ladder. It's not that hard to figure out. It wasn't that complicated. This was a little, it didn't go for that, but in a sense it was a little more complicated, but simple at the same time, because it didn't worry about trying to be complicated.
Right. Yeah. It's just, it was just like, it was still kind of meta in the sense that demonstrating the permeable barrier that exists between a piece of literature and a real life situation, and how much we know about what we're doing next, and how that impacts our plot trajectory, as it were. So, for instance, I don't know, say we're planning a trip, and we expect it to go a certain way, and we talk about how it's going to go that way, and we've forgotten, because that's kind of what they did in 7 Psychopaths, which is interesting, is they talked about what they were going to do next, and then they went and did it, not seeming to have realized that they were just talking about it, because they were talking about it as if it was going to be in the movie, because they were talking about, for instance, there's a moment when they were saying, let's go out into let's write a scene where they go out into the desert, and they talk about how the movie goes, And then there was a scene, spoiler alert, that happened right after that where they just did that, where they talked about what was going to happen next in the movie.
Christopher Walken.
Yes, that was pretty awesome.
But then
There's gotta be a shootout. Well, there was, but it was an imaginary one.
But it's funny though, because the movie still had the scene in it, even though the movie didn't really have. The story didn't
Right,
really
the story didn't, but the movie did, and that was the thing. Is the movie had the shootout. It was awesome. Right. Now when I think about it, this is another movie that you guys haven't seen, the Baron Munchausen. You know, so it makes you wonder about the nature of stories and real life and what the division is.
Can storytelling affect the world around it?
Exactly. And exactly. You know, where's the
line drawn
the line
between
drawn?
History and stories?
Right, exactly. And current
And
events
their
and
respect in when are stories
Five.
lost?
5. Well, actually, it's more like 7, but
7.
often 5.
Right.
Draw the line right there.
Yeah. So they did good with that, especially in the bits like where there's like a character who was asked a question and they never answered it explicitly, but they forced you to think about it. Like there was that one character, remember the black lady, who was Maggie was, you know, the one psychopath's girlfriend, right? And then they broke up. And then the other psychopath had a girlfriend who was a black woman too, that he mentioned helped him on his psychopath adventures, but he didn't really say
It was her.
it was her. But you know, how many black psychopaths who are attracted to white psychopaths are
In the
gonna
same story.
in the same story are you gonna find? So you know, but they never said whether it was or not. Yeah. So psychopaths are entertaining though. They're ultimately very entertaining because they don't react to things the way other people react to things, which makes you really think about why people react to things the way that they think we react to things. Like that scene that's in the preview that everybody has seen, but it's still a really good scene where, you know, the guy walks up to Christopher Walken, who's probably naturally a psychopath anyway, and, you know, holds a shotgun to him and says, "Put up your hands," and Christopher Walken says,
No!
And the guy
What?
says, "But I have a gun." And
So?
I don't care. The guy says, "That doesn't make any sense."
It's too bad.
Too bad.
Too bad.
And, you know, so that makes me wonder. It's just like the guy is totally surprised. He's like wondering, why is this situation not working? He had these particular expectations, because this is how a human being ought to react to something. But hold up a gun to him, and people say, "Okay, fine, I'll do whatever you say. I don't want to die."
Right.
And so, but, you know, the psychopath is sort of laying bare that behavior. This psychopathic character is demonstrating that there are other options in situations like that, and so we wonder. It makes me wonder why it is that you know, we have this expectation that people are going to react to given situations particular ways.
Crazy bastards.
Just crazy bastards, right? So Tyler, what do you think about psychopaths and how they're always faking it?